Hey guys, welcome to the channel and to this quick inbox review of the Modelcollect 1/72 scale Waffenträger auf E100. So you might ask yourself, what kind of strange paper panzer is this? Well, it's actually not even a paper panzer, because it was never captured on any drawing or paper. This is a total brainchild of Wargaming, the developers of World of Tanks. And this was something that was featured in World of Tanks in patch 8.9 in 2013. And it was removed from the game, or the tank was replaced with the Grill 15 in patch 9.15 in 2016. So it's not available in the game anymore. And that is actually the reason why I bought this kit, because I was never able to get one of these in game at that time. I didn't grind that tech tree seriously, so and then it was removed from the game, and I kind of lost interest in the whole tech tree. But I thought that it was a fantastic looking tank destroyer, and I had plans to scratch build one a couple of years ago, but I never did that, and that was probably a good idea, because now we have this kit from Modelcollect in 1/72 scale, and there is also a 1/35 scale kit available from Amusing Hobbies, I think. So let's start by looking at the kit then. If we begin with the box art and the illustration of the subject itself, it's based on the E100 chassis, and it looks a little bit different than the sort of classic E100 with the slightly rounded side skirts. But I think it should be a kind of stripped down design with all those parts removed. And as an ornament or the turret, we have something that looks to me like a Flak 40. But according to the in-game stats, the gun on that tank was actually the Pak 44, which is a totally different gun. This looks more like the anti-aircraft gun, I think, than a tank destroyer gun. But anyway, let's look into the kit. Okay, we have a box full of sprues. One plastic bag with a couple of sprues, and in between we have one sprue, two, and we have another bag of sprues, and we have a small fret of photo etch, and some decals, and we have some tracks. This looks like DS tracks, I think, so I guess they are supposed to be glued together. Not looking too bad, I think. And we have the assembly instructions. Small multicolored pamphlet like this. So if we look at the first bag, it is a resealable bag, which is always good. And we have the first sprue with this is the bottom part, the bottom of the tank, and these are probably the engine deck and the side, the rear panel, I think. and some hatches, I think that is, and a nice looking little machine gun. The second sprue, here we have the top of the tank with some really nice rivet details, and this is some kind of design for the suspension. The wheels go on these pegs, I think, or pins, and you sort of build everything together and can glue it onto the side of the tank. So you fix all the the complete running gear in one go. These are, I'm not sure what this is. This is probably some part of the, maybe of the gun, the magazine or something. And this is some kind of hatch. Then we have two identical sprues with all the parts for the running gear, the wheels, and main sprocket, an idler, and transmission, link arms, some thing, I think that is for the running gear. I have no idea, but it makes sense. Some really nice details. I think I'm very, very impressed. Okay, so we have two of those. We have one small fret with parts. I think this is probably for the gun, or the. This is probably the magazine cartridge. Yeah. And here we have the turret, basically molded in one piece. And the lower part. Here's the upper part of the. Okay, so the engine deck is probably here. And yeah, the sides of the lower hull. Then we have the second bag, and this doesn't. Yeah, it's actually resealable as well. And here we have lots of small parts, and this is probably some kind of support for the turret. I guess that most of these parts go onto the gun itself and the platform. I wonder what this is, if that is some kind of transmission, or no, it's probably for the aiming. This is probably for the gun. Okay, so here we have the gun barrel. It's a two-part affair, but there are no other details on it, so I guess it's quite easy to put it together and sand it, and yeah, make it look decent. And this is probably something for the gun, for the elevation control or something like that. More parts for the gun, I guess. And finally we have I wonder if this is some kind of hydraulic things, or if it's cartridges for the gun. I don't know. Here's the turret ring anyway. I can recognize that. So that was basically all the plastic parts. No clear parts in this kit, but that kind of makes sense because there's no optics or visors or anything. Let's see if I can. This doesn't look too bad actually. I think I'm quite impressed with this, and I think it's quite adequate for the kit. These are probably DS tracks, I hope, so they are possible to glue together, and hopefully you can put this seam somewhere where it's not too much visible. I think that I prefer this to single track links or link and length tracks for this kit. This is enough, I think. So let's have a look at the decals. They look quite nice actually. They have a sort of matte finish. They look okay, I think. I wonder what this is. Is this some marking for the gun barrel maybe? Who knows? Okay, so here's the fret with the photo etch, and there are of course mesh or grills for the engine deck, and some very small parts. These are tiny. Yeah, so that will probably be some interesting work to do. And finally we have the instructions. And I'm sorry, it's kind of glossy paper, so it's a lot of reflections. I'm sorry for that. I will try to hold it like this so it's possible to see what. Here's some history about the E100 vehicle, because it never existed. So yeah. Okay. So the instruction folds out, and if we start at this end, we have a sprue call out with all the parts in the kit. And after that we start with the assembly of the gun, which is probably the most complex part in this kit. And yeah, there are a lot of small parts here, so it's probably not a super easy build, but it will probably look very impressive when it's finished. And yeah, that was actually the things that I thought was transmission. No, it's not these. They are fitted onto the sort of the gun traverse or okay. And then we have the assembly of the upper hull with the photo etch parts, all the wheels, and the assembly of the running gear and the tracks, and yeah, that's it. My first impression here is that there's a lot of parts in this kit, but the instructions seem very simple. So I guess much of the parts are most of the parts are done here, actually, on the first side of this pamphlet. Okay, so the final 2 pages, we have some, what I would say, fictive paint callouts. I don't recognize these from the game, but they are probably, the in-game camo schemes are probably too complicated to make them. So this is probably more sensible in terms of painting and masking and stuff like that. And the paint callout specifies MIG paints. If you're using other paints, then you need to find the respective color matches for those. Okay, so that's it, guys. This is the Waffenträger auf E100, a totally fictive vehicle that never existed. It's featured in the World of Tanks game, so for all those World of Tankers out there that have had this tank or didn't have it, maybe this is a nice opportunity to build a kit for something that is from the game. Okay, thank you for watching, and I see you in the next one. Goodbye.